Supergirl Season 2, Episode 8, Medusa, was supposed to be the big first part of the crossover between Arrow, The Flash, DC's Legends of Tomorrow, and Supergirl, and it failed at that aspect, but that being said, it was still a fantastic episode. So I'll talk about the crossover part later because it's such a minuscule part of this episode. I can understand why it would offend a lot of people, especially the viewers of the other shows who are expecting more out of the crossover. But I, for one, wasn't expecting a lot because Supergirl, if you think about the whole universe, she's on a different Earth, so she was gonna have to get involved in another way. But this episode, as far as Supergirl itself, was a good episode. We got to see Kara sort of deal with the drama between her and Mon-El, as Mon-El almost died from the virus that her parents made. And it's cool that they're still bringing up family events that, of course, her father made the virus Medusa to kill all alien threats. And we see that Kara is, dealing with the fact that, oh man, maybe my father wasn't the man I thought he was. Maybe he did certain things that I wouldn't agree with. People sort of idolize their fathers, and Kara's no different. She sees her father as this father and mother as these perfect people, but it's cool that even in Season 2, we see Kara dealing with the revelation that, her parents weren't always the best of people, and of course, they created the virus that's killing her friend, Mon-El, and it was cool that they explored their romantic drama as well as Alex and Maggie's in a very nice emotional way and sort of tied up those plot lines with a nice bow. Of course, we still are going to be left hanging a little bit on the Kara Mon-El point, but that being said, they did do nicely with that. We also got the conclusion of the whole Martian Manhunter, John Jones turning into a white Martian storyline, which is good because that had been ongoing for weeks and sort of put to the back burner. We see that he finally turns into this hybrid Martian whenever he's fighting Cyborg Superman, who I did criticize him last week, but I've read more into the comics, and Cyborg Superman is actually Hank Henshaw in the comics, so it makes sense that they portrayed him like this. But at the same time, I still say that they should have had him, Hank Henshaw's, sort of consciousness uploaded into a direct copy of Superman, at least with appearance and such. That would have made more sense. But I think they did a good job with Cyborg Superman this episode, sort of fleshing him out as a cooler villain, and he definitely was, and his fight between Hank was definitely one of the highlights of this season. Of course, that virus is going to play a larger part in the role of four-part crossover. I think that's why this episode was so important, the four-part crossover. But, of course, the 5 minutes we did see of Barry and Cisco was them trying to open the breach. And, of course, they tried to open the breach throughout the episode, which helped Kara at some points and didn't help her at others. And it was cool that they sort of, even though they didn't go all out with the invasion storyline with this first part of the crossover, they did make it, this sort of, you knew it was coming the whole entire episode, what was coming. As far as just the character drama, was great this episode. As far as the action, it was good. They put the Guardian story to the back burner, which was good because as much as I liked it, they were broadcasting it too much. And I really do think this episode was very entertaining and fun. So I can't wait to see the next night of the crossover. I think this was a good sort of introduction to it but at the same time, I wish there would have been more actual crossover. But as far as an episode of Supergirl, this was a good episode all around. So I'd have to give this episode, of course, Season 2, Episode 8, Medusa, I'd have to give it a 8.5 out of 10 because it was a good episode of Supergirl. It may not be a good episode of the crossover, but it was a good episode of Supergirl. And I don't think that the fact that it was the crossover sort of put at the back burner takes away from the fantastic acting and fantastic writing and fantastic just action in this episode. So I hope you've enjoyed my review for Medusa.